This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Sometimes the video you want to create doesn't happen. That actually happens to me quite a lot. I have yet to create a film or video or whatever the way I pictured it in my head. It always ends up being somewhere adjacent to my original idea. Hey everyone, I am Halise, a digital storyteller and video producer, and on this channel I document my chaotic good life. Subscribe, follow, social media. So this video is actually a prime example of that. It was originally supposed to be about what I eat in a day, a week, a month, just general content about my consumption, my intake of the foodstuffs. And I actually put quite a bit of work into it. I filmed about 2 or 3 days worth of what I eat and trying to think of ways to make that content look cinematic and bring something new to the genre, if you will. But around day 4, I was just like, this ain't it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When other YouTubers actually put out similar content to this, I usually don't watch because, well, I just don't watch. I don't know. Something about this genre doesn't actually interest me that much. But a few of y'all had expressed interest to see what my general diet is like, so I figured why not give it a try. Plus, I have a whole second channel about nothing but what my husband and I eat. And it's all gluten-free because that's how we eat. So part of me is like, just go check that out if you're interested because it's accurate. That is what we eat. And finally, it was actually a bit of a logistical hurdle because here's the thing, fam. In order to film the food, I have to deprive myself of eating even longer. So I was getting mad hangry, like, all that to say, the video failed. I failed. And that's okay. A few of you have asked about my creative process and how I pull inspiration for the films that I make here. And I figured the best way to show you that was a video that didn't work, that completely failed, along with some tips on how to manage that failure and eventually push through those creative blocks because we all get them. Everybody, nobody immune. Once you can learn to be creative on cue, if you will, then you're always creating. My first tip, try changing your perspective, literally. Something else I tried with the original food video was that I wanted to try to change my perspective of the food itself. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you know I rented a probe lens. I had seen MKBHD review this lens and something really stuck out to me while I was watching that video. It was this shot that he got using the lens of some M&Ms falling into the frame. And I'll tell you what, if that don't change your perspective on M&Ms, I don't know what will. Which, quick side quest when it comes to the creative process, just because you're not actively working or creating a project doesn't mean you're not subconsciously and consciously absorbing things that you can then reference later in your creativity. When I watched MKBHD's video on the lens, I wasn't thinking, I'm gonna use that to shoot food one day. I was just thinking, wow, I wanna stay up to date on the latest gear that I can possibly use with my camera. All that to say, I rented the lens, which leads me to my next point. Play. Try to play a lot. Play is really important, not just for small children in early childhood development, and not just for creatives like me. Everyone should play. You can be an accountant and like to color. That's fine. It's good. So when I first got the lens, I actually didn't shoot any food. In fact, I didn't end up shooting any food at all with the lens. I just played with the lens actually a lot. I mostly filmed my plants and got caught up in this interesting idea of what it means to be a bug in my apartment and how I could now see my apartment in this whole different perspective because I had this lens. It was actually super fun. I'll cut to some of the footage while I keep talking. However, even though it was really cool to play around with a bug's perspective, that still didn't help. I still wasn't very interested to film food in this way, which leads me to my next tip. Actively seek out inspiration for your idea. Something I used to do before the world shut down and took a sabbatical with me was go to museums and art galleries for inspiration. Remember going to museums? Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that a good time? Going to a museum? Remember that? So I decided to do that digitally. I started going back and looking through still life paintings to start to think more about texture and lighting in regards to food specifically. I also went on Skillshare to see if they had any food photography classes, and sure enough they did. I mean, come on. We all love a good picture of some food, am I right? I'm right. For those of y'all who don't know, Skillshare is an online learning platform with thousands of different classes that you can take from a variety of different creators. For more targeted direction, I took Marty Marie Forsberg's class on lifestyle photography. Because at the end of the day, video and film is just a sequence of photos. That's all it is. And then while browsing through Skillshare, I thought, what if I turn this whole thing into a series of digital art pieces, where I then take photos of every single meal and turn them into this digital art poster series of what I ate that day. Essentially make an digital art poster of what I ate for the day. And I came up with that idea because I watched Temmie's class. For those of y'all who don't know, Temmie Coker is a digital artist based in Dallas. We out here, Texas, pew, pew, pew. He creates these stunning digital posters on Instagram and was actually an Adobe creative resident. Adobe paid homeboy a salary to make his art. If that ain't living a dream, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. All that to say, I consistently use Skillshare as a resource for my inspiration, and you can too. If you're looking for a way to explore your creativity and get constant inspiration from others, then check out Skillshare. The first 1,000 subscribers to click the link in my description box will get 2 months free of their premium membership. So I did all of those things and ended up getting amazing ideas for other videos. But still nothing for this one. Which leads me to the last thing. And y'all might not like me for this tip, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it because it needs to be said. Deadlines aren't bad. I would strongly recommend that you put yourself on a deadline. In an ideal situation, it's an internal deadline that you create for yourself, and come hell or high water, come what may, in May, you get it done. Because all a deadline is, an internal one anyway, is a promise that you make to yourself. It's you saying to yourself, I promise to act by a specific time period. And one of the biggest things I notice from creatives who I admire, or others who are just really out here killing it, being consistent, all that kind of stuff, they're really good about their deadlines. They're really good about making a promise to themselves and following up with it. Now, sometimes that internal motivation is just not there. It's just not. Especially during these times. I mean, there are days when I wake up and I'm just kind of like, for why? I mean, truly, for why? And that, my friends, is why external motivations are a godsend. This video, had to get done. And not because I made an intrinsic promise to myself to finish this video. No, I didn't. Not with this one. This video happened because I made an external promise to someone else that I would do it. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. The video had to be done on Wednesday. I'm not sure what day this video is gonna go live, so I'm trying to cover all my bases and say every day of the week in the lines, so that way it works out. After they're done reviewing it, I just know what day. There are many ways that you can give yourself or create for yourself an external deadline or external motivators. Maybe it's something like, once I write these 3 pages, I'ma have a piece of cake. I don't know your life. Something I would recommend is getting an accountability partner. Evelyn is actually mine. We have been meeting on and off pretty consistently for the past 3 or 4 years now. We meet, digitally of course, roughly once a month, and set tangible goals for ourselves for the month. And then in our follow-up meeting the next month, we explain if we actually did or did not hit those goals and why, while also setting up new goals for the new month. It hits a little different. If you have to sit there and explain out loud using words that the only reason you didn't do the thing is because you were lazy, Yeah, I just didn't really get around to it this month because I just kind of didn't feel like it. You know what I'm saying?
No, that ain't it, sis. That's not the one.
There's something about saying out loud and explaining yourself out loud to somebody that really changes it. I've really had a lot of great breakthroughs by having an accountability. In the comments below, let me know about a creative idea that you had that failed and what you learned from it, because it's from our failures that we truly learn the best lessons. I hope this video was helpful for you. Shout out again to Skillshare for sponsoring it, and I'll see you when I see you. Because you ain't gonna catch me out here with crusty, dusty lips. Not ever again. What did I write? Okay. Remind me to turn the fridge back on in 2 hours.
All right, I'll remind you at 3:55 p.m.
Thanks, boo. Here we go. Stop fiddling with stuff, Elise. It's fine. All right.